Gua, 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 gua. Shon, 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 shon. Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome to another edition of the Spaghetti Western Jamboree. Tonight we're talking about one of the films by the one, the only, the great Sergio Leone. We're talking about Duck-You-Sucker, also known as Fistful of Dynamite. This was one of the few spaghettis that they would show on TV when I was a kid. Unfortunately, it was always just badly mutilated. The history of this movie in terms of getting access to like non-mutilated copies of it is very, very sketchy. I don't know what it is. I think MGM owns the rights to all of the Leone movies, and they just think of them as like, that's old stuff, you know. It's just nothing but like old men are gonna buy those. So they very, very rarely give them the proper treatment. I know that a lot of people are very pissed off right now about the new edition of Once Upon a Time in the West that they just came out with, which people are calling an abomination. they're ready to take the law into their own hands. They're ready to take the law into their own hands and start lynching people over there. But before we start lynching people for fucking up Sergio Leone movies or not doing them justice, let me bring in my boy, your boy, Matt. What's going on? Nice t-shirt.
What's up, man? Don't start lynching people. No. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite comics, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, can't recommend it enough, man. And also, I did a review of War Party #4 by Justin Murphy. That was during the French Indian War. You have all these different, you know, it's French Indian War horror. You know, I would call it a Western, but it's not. I don't know what you would call that. What
Weird
period?
West? Maybe
Weird West, but it's like so. It's it's in the 1700s, so it's colonial. Right. It's not even colonial. It's manifest.
It's in the East, actually, too.
Weird manifest Destiny. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, that is a great book for Sheezy, and I'm glad that the new issue of that's coming out. That's fantastic. I love the first 3, and then of course there was a absolutely stunning piece of art that was contributed by our good friend Preston Acevedo. What's going on,
Preston?
What up, Preston?
I thought we were watching Graveyard Man for this episode. I don't know why.
Graveyard Men. Graveyard Men. We're not talking about Graveyard Men. What, is there even a movie called Graveyard Men?
Graveyard Man.
Oh,
the horror movie.
Cemetery Man. I think what you
Cemetery Man. That's what.
Cemetery Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
should
we
be
should
one
do that
called
sometime.
Graveyard Man. Oh, that could be a cool comic character.
Actually, that movie is based on a comic book.
from DC, right?
No, from Italy.
Cemetery Man.
Yeah. Dylan
Really?
Dog.
Oh, Dylan Dog.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Cemetery Man's based on Dylan Dog?
That's
Yes.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
strange. I never got
It's
that
so
vibe
Nothing
from
like
it.
it.
They filmed
It's
that
nothing
movie
like
down by you, Preston.
Yeah, no, it was a good movie. I liked it. I just didn't get that vibe from Cemetery Man, that it was a Dylan Dog
Yeah.
knockoff.
Yeah. And original title is Dell'amore della morte, of love of death.
Oh shit.
And that was by Michele Soavi. That movie came out like around the same time that Peter Jackson came out with Dead Alive, aka Brain Damage.
Oh, wow.
And that was gonna, like, he was on the verge of taking off and being Peter Jackson, or on that level. And he was going to be directing a huge budgeted Italian movie, right? Because the Italians stopped making movies a long time ago. They just focus on TV right now. But they were going to make like a giant Italian movie that was going to be like their version of the Lord of the Rings.
Holy
wow.
shit.
Then,
Peter
then
Jackson did Brain Damaged?
yeah.
That's fucking cool, dude. I had
Yeah,
no
isn't that-
idea. That's awesome.
Well, not brain damaged, brain damage. Well, I mean,
Brain dead.
brain dead. Yes,
Brain
not brain
Dead.
dead. Yeah,
Okay.
no, brain damage is by Frank Henenlotter, the one with Aylmer.
I was about to say, because I was like,
Aylmer.
whoa. I was like, dude.
It's not. No, my name's not Elmer. It's Aylmer. We should do that movie sometime. I love
Aylmer.
that fucking movie. But anyway, yes, we are here tonight to talk about Doku Soccer, which was I think that got like released in movie theaters in America, and it didn't do well, and they blamed the title, and so they changed the name to Fistful of Dynamite.
It's pretty
And-
catchy. Fistful of Boomstick.
Yeah. Well, that's like the version that I usually, if you saw it on TV, that's the version that you saw. Of course, this was Leone's last Western, coming after, first Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Once Upon a Time in the West, and then this, Doku Soccer.
Doku Soccer.
And it's interesting because Leone was one of those guys. It's like as he progressed with the Westerns, they just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Like he kept I'm not just talking about like running time, although that too. The canvas is just kept getting just huge.
Gigantor.
Yeah. And there's something about Leone where he could do that. And also, if you didn't notice, like in this movie, he had this tendency towards his later films to like really stretch out scenes. Right?
The badass cover right there, man.
Isn't that? It's
I just like how
Yeah,
it's almost
awesome.
like a weird Western, man. You know what I mean? And like just like the whole, like it took a while for Coburn to come in, so I was like, oh, they're gonna set this character up like he's gonna take his time, and he came in, and I was just like, wow, this is a cool, like how can you play with that genre with characters? You know what I mean? What you could bring a motorcycle, a motorbike in, right? Like you bring in a motor car, but
and nitroglycerin.
nitro.
And all kinds of dynamite and shit. I mean, look, the movie's called Doku Soccer, and basically it's James Coburn, and blowing up like Mexico,
Oh, yeah.
right? And doing it with Rod Steiger. They had originally, I know Leone originally wanted Eli Wallach for that role of Juan Miranda, But Wallach he had like another commitment. He was doing another movie, so he couldn't be in this. And I think that was a good thing because, when I think of Eli Wallach in a Leone movie, I mean, look, he recast Lee Van Cleef as a completely different character, right? He was Colonel Mortimer, and for a few dollars more, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Of course, he was Angel Eyes. You could do that with him, but I don't think casting Eli Wallach as like another Mexican would have worked quite as well, because we just think of him so much as Tuco, right? That's such a memorable role. Of course, we're talking about the spaghetti westerns here, and they never cast Mexicans as Mexicans ever, except for one. Gilbert Roland, he was like in Johnny Hamlet, which, as it sounds, is a spaghetti western version of Hamlet, and Any Gun Can Play, which had like a ensemble cast. But otherwise, it's always like white dudes in brown face. And I can understand why that might piss some Mexican peeps off. I get it. I know
it's fucking racist.
Well, of course, they were anything but, and Leone was anything but, because you look at the American westerns, they don't deal with the Mexican Revolution really, like at all. And you look at the spaghettis, and there's a ton of spaghettis that are set in the Mexican Revolution. A ton of them, right? A Bullet for the General being a notable one. God, it's a bunch. Requiescant. I mean, I don't have a handy dandy list, but there's a whole bunch. And, a lot of the spaghetti western directors were revolutionaries themselves. That is to say, they were fighting the fascists during World War II. And it's not like, these pussy Antifa guys who think they're fighting fascists. No, these guys were fighting actual literal fucking fascists. Jack-booted, evil fucking motherfuckers. And mean and murderous. So they looked at the Mexican Revolution in a way that was almost romantic. I know that Sergio Corbucci, for instance, he was a guy, who did Django and The Great Silence and Compañeros, which is also about the Mexican Revolution. He disses hippies in a lot of his spaghetti westerns. Like, I don't know why the hippies show up in his westerns, but they do quite often, and they're always like the biggest assholes. And I thought, so that must mean that he was like conservative and he hated them. No. He had a problem with the hippies because they were throwing flowers. And he was like, don't throw flowers, throw dynamite, motherfuckers. And Leone came in. And I think it was largely inspired by like the fact that his peers, Corbucci, of course, his boy, they worked together on a number of peplums, sword and sandal movies. In fact, it was Corbucci who had the original idea to shoot a Western in Spain. Evidently, he was with Leone and they were looking out on this beautiful landscape in Almeria. I was like, you know what? We could pass this off as like the old West or Mexico or something like that.
Right.
Right. So he was the guy who had the original idea, but freaking Leone opens this movie with a quote from Mao Zedong, one of the greatest mass murderers of the 20th century, right? I don't know if he's the title holder or if it's Stalin. It's one of those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hitler, of course, was a runner-up. Pol Pot, runner-up.
What's really funny about hippies?
Yeah.
Is that like the hippie vehicle was the VW Bug.
Right.
Or Volkswagen. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Which is the most evil. The history behind a Volkswagen is so goddamn evil. Like, they used to kill the employees' babies. I'm saying? To keep them on the assembly line.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Wow. That's a horror movie, dude.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh no, it was. It was. The Nazis. Newsflash: the Nazis, not nice guys, really. Like,
they were
really,
kinda
actually,
evil.
kind of on the asshole-ish side. This may be a newsflash for you. Also, the one thing I will say about them, of course, they fucking were the snappiest fucking dressers. You know who designed their uniforms? Hugo Boss.
Absolutely.
Like I always say about the Nazis, man, horrible politics, great fashion sense. That's about it. It's the only good thing you can really give them. Their art was fucking shit. You know, if you've never seen German National Socialist art, you really should. It's fascinating, not for what it is, but for what it isn't. It's just sterile and soulless, as you would expect from fucking fascists, right? No fucking heart whatsoever. But I always think it's a little bit of a tragedy whenever there's a museum that plans on having an exhibition of Nazi art, it always gets shut down. Always gets shut down, right? Nowadays, of course, nobody would even think of even trying, right?
Right.
But people were trying in the 80s and the 90s, and they would always shut it down. And I always thought, you fucking idiots! It's just like people need to look at this stuff. And if you haven't seen it, go and look at their fucking art.
Now, was the art horrible?
Was it shit?
But was it shit because Hitler was like, all art has to look like my art? Because Hitler was an artist.
Yes, because he created the Museum of Degenerate Art, right?
Yeah.
Where you could go and see all of this degenerate art, and hated jazz music, of course, because it was by the Negroes.
Right.
And
the unpure races.
Well, yeah, I mean the Svinjugend were like the punk rockers of that era, right?
You probably wouldn't like comic books in because they were created by Jews. Fucking comics.
Comics.
Well, why am I getting punched by Captain America? 999.
Next, like the swing, the Svinjugend, they were like the swing youth, the swing kids. They used to taunt the Nazis, going swing Heil, because this is like when swing music was really big in Germany, and then the brown shirts would come, charging in and would start busting heads, and the kids would defend themselves, and it would be a huge brawl. And then the newspapers would report that, these gentle, innocent brown shirts, just you happen to be wandering by, and then like these swing kids just came out and just started beating on them for like no reason.
I'll tell you what, real punk was in Nazi Germany, because you could get killed for doing shit.
Oh, dude.
You get put in a gas chamber for being a punk.
Dude, the swing kids were about as close as you could fucking get. It was, because the Nazis weren't in power, but they were coming to power.
Yeah.
Right. And people were packed up and shipped away. Do you know what I'm saying? People forget that the concentration camps weren't created as death camps; they were created as re-education centers.
Yeah.
Right, where they would go and re-educate you, and China
also had re-education centers. In fact, they still do. They have them.
They still do for all the money.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same. It's the same government from Mao Zedong's days. We're directly descended, although of course they're not real communists. They're they're communists in name only. But see, Jeff, what's up in the chat?
What up, Jeff?
What up? Get struck. Yes, America hosted Nazis. Yes, you are quite correct about that. And the Pope at the time said that Hitler was a man of God. But anyway,
because Catholicism is a joke. That's why.
Well, because the Catholic Church is a racket. Because the Catholic Church is a racket. Sorry, Catholic peeps. Sorry,
sure,
newsflash.
Absolutely.
Newsflash.
Most
But yeah,
evil empire. The longest running evil empire in the universe.
It's a racket.
Catholicism.
You know, I mean, that's why the Protestant Reformation happened, was because it was a racket, and Martin Luther wasn't having none of that. Of course, you know, we're a comic book centered stream. We're all comic book creators here, and one of the things I always love to do is to look up fan art and, of course, posters. The Japanese posters, man, like you could see, they weren't paintings. They were using photographs, but there's something dope about theirs.
It slaps. It's dynamic. Right?
Yeah. Looks like Godzilla's about to pop out of somewhere.
Or Toshiro Mifune with the fucking samurai sword.
You sucker. They like that name more than the
You sucker.
They like that better than the fistful of
just kind of dynamite. It
sounds better for them.
Lame. It's fucking lame. Here are lobby cards.
To say, they look like some
comic
book panels almost.
I don't even know if people. You guys know what lobby cards were, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Because I'm old and crusty enough to remember going to the movies and seeing lobby cards. Lobby cards were basically self-explanatory. You would be in the lobby of the movie theater and you would see these pictures of the film. So you could walk in and look and be like, oh, like, do you want to see this or not? Does this look like something that you want to see? I mean, I've got the Captain Kronos Vampire Slayer, Vampire Hunter lobby cards.
Nice.
You can actually like find lobby card sets like this on eBay. I lucked out. I think I only paid maybe about $80 for that set. And then we got, let's see, that's a little piece of fan art right there.
Got him on a pillow.
La 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 la. Oh yeah, of course we're going to talk about Ennio Morricone. Jesus, man. The relationship between Morricone and Leone, it's one of the great creative partnerships of all fucking time. One of the great collaborations, you know, one of the great duos. Because, you know, like the way that movies normally work is the filmmaker makes the movie and then the composer comes in, watches the movie, and then composes the score to match the film. Mm-hmm. Leone and Morricone worked in the opposite way.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought.
Morricone, yeah, because I know I mentioned this before. Morricone would read the screenplay and then he would compose the the themes for the characters and that sort of a thing. Make the music, and then Leone would come in and he would film the movie and edit it so that it matched the music, which is unheard of
right
today. But that's one of the things that is so magical about Leone and Morricone, both of whom, of course, no longer with us except in spirit. Let's see what else have I got here. Yeah, not a lot of fan art. Oh, there's another little piece of fan art. Blow that up. It's only a little.
I like the design of that little like cart. You know what I mean? That train.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's insane. Yeah, we're gonna
flavor,
get to that.
You know.
Well, I mean, because it's like it's a stagecoach, but Juan Miranda, Rod Steiger's character, he opens a door and looks in, and it looks like a luxury railroad car.
Right? Oh yeah.
Right? It's fucking decked out. The people in there are fucking swank. They're eating good. They're drinking good. They are not exactly roughing it.
Right.
Right? They weren't like Mark Twain, who went across a large part of the West in the back of a stagecoach that was like actually a mail coach, right? He would just flop down on like the big sacks of mail. But yeah,
imagine him with the mustache, kind of going like a rat with a mouth, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, that. I mean, That's actually one of the best books. Anybody that's interested, I don't know if I mentioned that to our boy Phil, but for research on the Old West, that was one of the most useful books. Actually, was Roughing It, which was written, basically just a travelogue, Mark Twain's adventures when he was like a young man going across the Old West and all of his like cool experiences and shit like that.
Did you see the claymation movie of Mark Twain?
Yep.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I remember that. That was like from back in the day.
Real way back in the day. Way back.
I like the part with the devil. That was fucking amazing.
It was pretty gangster.
Well, I mean, I love me some stop motion.
I gotta find that movie.
I always have. I remember wanting to make stop motion and realized really quickly, like, oh shit, that shit's time consuming and it's fucking boring. Unless I guess maybe you get into like, I mean, I imagine that people like Nick Park, the Aardman guy who did Wallace and Gromit and Chicken Run and all those movies.
Chicken Run's awesome.
Oh, amazing. I mean, he's a national treasure. I don't know if they've knighted him in England yet or not, but if he hasn't been knighted, shame on them, because that dude's a fucking national treasure.
The greatest thing about claymation, though, is that anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally anybody can do that shit.
Oh, absolutely.
You got patience.
There's a horror movie out right now that's on Shudder that I'm probably going to watch tonight called Stop Motion. That's evidently half stop motion and half live action, and it's about a stop motion animator as her like mind starts fraying.
I have to check that out.
Kid Box is talking, or Kid Bash talking about Box Trolls. That movie's awesome. So is
it is
Fantastic Mr. Fox by Wes, forgot his name. All-star cast, but my kids love both those movies. So do I. Like to watch them.
Box Trolls is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
And the end credits are great, where like the characters are talking to each other. Like, you ever get the feeling that there are these unseen hands that kind of like control our destiny?
Right.
And you see like really, you see like little kind of what is it, like flashes of like the hands like animating them. It's like
and
so cool.
GDT's Pinocchio was pretty good too. It had a lot of the Spanish Civil War and stuff in that one.
Yeah, he's obsessed with
his. He is, man. It's kind of his Pinocchio for sure, but it's good.
I still haven't watched that. I know that it pissed a lot of people off, but whatever.
Oh, it pissed a lot of people off?
Yeah.
Which Pinocchio?
Well, it's better than the Disney one that came out recently. That one was hot trash, as far as I'm concerned. The cartoon's pretty cool. We're talking about the Guillermo del Toro one that's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that
was pretty good.
Yeah. Anything Bucket Tone, but that dude is fucking amazing.
Right? He's like he's like the next. I don't know. He was kind of like for me, he was like the next Tim Burton when he came out. Yeah, that'd be the best way to describe
he still
him.
Is.
Better than him.
Yeah.
Did you see the horror series he has on Netflix?
No, yes. Cabinet of Curiosities. I want to get Netflix, man. I'm going to break down what it is and get it.
I was kind of disappointed by the adaptation of Lovecraft's Pickman's model that they did. But the one that's fucking amazing, that's dope, is the one that was done by Panos Cosmatos.
Oh,
is that the one with the graveyard?
No, that's the one with Peter Weller as like the really rich guy that has like this rock from outer space, and he invites all these people to come and snort like really, really great cocaine with him, and get their heads on, and then interact with this thing. And of course, it goes in a very sort of Panos Cosmatos direction.
This scene right here, man, the eating.
Yes.
The sounds. He's just like,
it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Yeah. Right. And then the Cardinal, he was just like, he's actually defending them because the rest of the posh people are just talking about like what subhuman degenerates the Mexicans are. In Mexico, they're talking shit, right? And the only reason why Juan has been allowed on here is because the guys that are transporting these people also hate these people and wanted to fuck with them. Because, he's like, oh, my father died. You can see the black armband. He's not even wearing shoes, right? Mm. And he's just like, here's my life savings. Can you just, give me a ride? And, they're just like, get lost until one of them is like, oh, hey, I know how to fuck with those posh people that were delivering across the country. And they just start going off saying like the most like horrible shit, most horrible racist shit you can imagine. And then the camera starts zooming in. And of course, Leone loved those tight shots on the eyes, but then he goes to their mouths.
Oh yeah, that was pretty gross.
And it's disgusting.
And the Foley, man, the sound effects was just like, oh, so gross.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it's just these extreme close-ups of their eyes and their mouths just fucking masticating, just fucking knocking this food back.
He puts it on repeat too, and then the dude drops like the hard N-bomb with the hard R.
Yeah, sure.
Just, like, going over and over, like in his head, over and over.
Yep. Yeah, and then if they all start blurring because he's just sitting there having to fucking listen to this shit. And of course, it's going to come and bite them on the ass in a very bad way.
Dramatic.
Yeah, well, but then you get the shots of the woman's mouth, and the shot of the woman's mouth are kind of sensual or sexy. Not that it gave me a hard on or anything like that, but it's definitely intended, I think, to be of a libidinous nature. And then of course Juan turns out to be a bandit, and he and his 6 kids and his grandfather rob the shit out of these people and then like literally dump them in a pigsty. That's after they'll let the woman keep her clothes because now the scene where
enough of the man ass, dude. You could take that off there.
It's like, I don't want to look at that shit. There is a close up of a man's ass. I made sure not to do a screen capture of. So they fucking completely jack these people. Not only is Juan wearing shoes now, but what's funny is he actually turns out to kind of live up to the stereotype that those people have of the Mexicans
in the movie. Yeah.
Right. And it's not that like that. And it's not saying like, oh, like that's the Mexican people. That's him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? He's exactly pretty much like what they thought of. Their picture of a Mexican in their minds, he's that. He actually is like the living version of that. A guy that's just a scumbag,
right?
Not exactly a great father figure, right?
And then that scene with the lady, didn't he like grape her or something?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a scumbag. I was like waiting for him to die through the whole movie.
It's
like
it's not it's not grape.
Yeah,
but it's grapey.
Yeah, it's something, right? Like
that's the mark of a great villain. When
you don't really know.
Like, I hope this motherfucker dies.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope James Coburn like sticks a butt cheek full of dynamite, in there.
He's a scumfuck. He's a scumfuck, is what he is. He's a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Right? And he runs into John, played by, of course, the one, the only, the great James Coburn. And interesting little bit of trivia, James Coburn was one of the people that was approached to play the lead in a little tiny movie called Fistful of Dollars.
Wouldn't that be different? Like, imagine him in the role.
You can't imagine anybody but Clint.
I can't. No.
It's unimaginable. It's unimaginable. And he was like their 11th choice.
It would just be kind of weird, you know?
I mean, I don't think that movie and certainly that character wouldn't have been so iconic. It still would have been a great movie, but I don't know. I think that the movie making gods, the Western gods, you know, the stars were in proper alignment and everything, and freaking, you know, magic happened.
Like, you couldn't see Clint Eastwood playing this role with that accent.
No,
it wouldn't work. He would fuck it up. Personally, that's my opinion. You know,
I agree.
He kind of just does the Clint Eastwood voice in every movie, like De Niro does, or Nicholson does Nicholson's voice in every movie. You know,
right?
Clint's really good at being Clint.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that's for real, because you have actors that are playing sort of like a character, but it's always the same character, right? Like John Wayne, right?
John Wayne, yeah.
Oh no, not Pacino.
Absolutely, Pacino. Pacino's Pacino in every movie.
Dude, Big Boy Caprice in that shitty Dick Tracy movie. He's the best thing in that fucking movie.
Big Boy Caprice. I don't think I've seen.
Yeah,
that.
He's the villain in that, right?
Is that the one where he plays a gay guy, gay undercover cop, and he gets tied up and he's naked with his hands behind his back?
No, that's Cruising.
That's
Cruising, which is an amazing movie, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought Pacino played a hillbilly one time. I know like De Niro did Cape Fear, and he did De Niro's got more range for sure, but
I think both of them.
I don't know. I think Pacino did more, but he does play Pacino a lot, like a whole lot, like 90% of the time.
Oh, for sure.
Right now, De Niro is playing a huge role. He's playing a dumbass.
Oh yeah, he needs to still play some like bingo in the fucking retirement home and shut his fucking throat real quick.
And being a jackass in public, you all saw that. You know, not to get into politics.
I can't believe he did that. I was like, holy shit, dude!
So lame.
And people are like cursing at him, and then somebody hits a fucking car alarm, just to fuck with them, and then he leaves, and he's just like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, he's yelling at everybody.
This is what I mean when
TDS.
When I say like actors should keep their they're not very smart people.
Well, I think artists
like
artists shouldn't talk politics, dude. Pretty much, you know.
No.
For the most part, unless you know, it's something that's fucking egregious that's going on in our country. Like now,
these guys, I don't think they understand how real people live. You know what I'm saying? Like they're in they're literally in ivory towers. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%. Absolutely. And that, I mean, that's the case with our ruling class in general, is they don't know anybody other than other rich people, right? It's not like they have friends that are like middle class or poor, right?
No.
Yeah. There's some actors that are like that do the fucking low budget movies. They play the little character roles, and they have the blue collar, you know, stuff where they work real jobs. You know what I mean? And they actually they're more, you know what I'm talking about. Like one of them is probably like Sid Haig, the dude that passed away from House of Thousand Corpses. When I talked to him, he's real down to earth. He owns property, but he has to go and like probably fix plumbing and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Very like, you know, journeyman, you know, jack of all trades. There's a lot of those actors. There was one actor named Robert Nipper. He was in the show called Prison Break, and then he kind of blew up after that, and he started playing a lot of villains. He was in like Transporter 3. He's a cool villain actor, right? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I work at Griffith Observatory. You know, just he had his fucking ear in the dirt the whole time. You know what I mean? He wasn't, you know, up in the ivory towers, you know, sipping Mai Tais like most of these fucks.
Lance Henriksen was a biker, and if Aliens if Aliens bombed, he told himself, like, his plan was he was going to give up on acting entirely and just become a biker.
Isn't that weird? And he was probably fucking doing the motorcycle club biking, you know what I mean, as he was making certain movies. Like one of the other guys that's been around forever, he was a trucker like the most of the time, and he was going all over the place, was Viggo Mortensen. So he was doing these little roles, but he was going all over the place. And truckers, I find, are very like intercontinental. They're also very worldly, at least because they pick up so many people and they see so much shit. My uncle was like that. Dillard's like that too. He was a trucker.
This guy isn't an actor, but Peter Steele, while he was in Typo Negative, was picking up like human feces in the what was it, City Park, New York
he was
Park or something like that.
He was a park ranger, yeah.
No, he wasn't even. I don't think he was even a park ranger. I think he was just a maintenance guy. He went around picking up trash and shit. Like,
it sucks. The scum.
But he loved his job. He wouldn't quit it.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, it's sometimes a job where you don't have to deal with people, and you could just kind of do like the robotics of it and take your mind somewhere else is the best stress-free job, man. Sometimes that's priceless.
But also, he loved the woods. That song, "The Green Man," for instance,
Yeah.
that's like a love song to to his love of.
That's Central Park. You're saying, Preston, that he worked.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying in
I
New
think
York?
so. Yeah.
That makes sense, 'cause it's all the woods in the middle of the park, you know.
And bums would go shit on the floor, shit on the ground and shit. And they'd have to go pick their shit up, you know.
Oh, dude, that's
and also like the Misfits, like fucking Doyle and his brother. They both own, like they work at a steel factory.
Steel, yeah.
Yeah, they work in a steel mill. You know?
Yeah, they're those guys, but especially fucking
Doyle.
No, not Doyle.
Okay.
Fucking. Why am I suddenly blanking on this fucking
Johnny Nobody? Danzig?
No, it's a fucking
Jerry Only.
Jerry Only, yeah.
Yeah, because I used to see him in the city. I was at Comic-Con. I walked by his booth, and somebody there that worked in his booth was talking to somebody else about what an asshole he is.
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy.
Well, they're both New Yorkers too, aren't they? Like
Bitter. No, he's not a New Yorker. He's originally from Jersey.
Dude, we had what's his name on Hart was on last week, and I went to the what is it his comic company Danzig's, you know, and the site's still the same from like fucking 90 something. I was on there just
but he hasn't keep up with it.
Dude, because I'm like I want to pick up some of like the Jaguar God and you know.
Well, he's busy. Yeah, he's too busy making really, 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 really bad movies. He's too busy to fuck with that shit because he's focused on being like the new Ed Wood.
Yeah, but I will say this: like he's got a really good eye for talent as far as art. Because I'll be straight with you.
Joe, for sure. Yeah, he's not art blind.
He got Frazetta died before Frazetta died. Frazetta. That's all I gotta say.
Frazetta was his childhood hero. You know, it inspired all the fucking music that he wrote. But the like the art in Veronica was crazy good. Like I think he hunted through Heavy Metal magazine to go ahead and find artists. You know?
Yeah, he's got some heads in there, man. That's why I was trying to scoop some of them up, but it's like you got to just go to eBay because the site needs some love, man. I think if they updated it, because you can't order anything off of it. It's just like
he hasn't updated that site. And
you need to get in there,
keep up with it.
Just needs to get a Shopify and fix it real quick, and you know,
he easily did a bunch of those Jaguar gods.
Yeah,
then it switched over to somebody else, and that
and Death Dealer too.
Liam Sharp. I think it was Liam Sharp.
Yeah, I saw him on there too. That dude's a fucking killer too, man.
As a matter of fact, I was at a comic book convention in the 80s. And this was, I forget the year, but this was a creation convention, right? This is back when conventions were mostly Star Trek conventions, and then they became Star Trek / Doctor Who / comic book conventions. And I went with my friend Carrie, and we're flipping through some comics, and Carrie's like, he looks over, and he's like, Glenn Danzig? Oh, hey, what's up? And he was all happy to be recognized because this is like when he was in Samhain.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a long fucking time ago.
Long fucking time ago. And
it had to be in the 70s or something like that because
it was the 80s. It was the 80s.
Jesus Christ.
But I remember that I was too shy to talk to him. I just kind of like, don't even look in his direction. Because I was a fan, right? And this is before, you know, I mean, nowadays I see somebody I'm a fan of, I'm like, fuck it, you know, I could die tomorrow. You know, you have to get you know, I mean, shit, at my age, if I haven't ceased to give a fuck at my age, there's something seriously fucking wrong with me. That's one of the things I like about getting older too, is the older you get, the fewer fucks you give.
Yeah, that is true.
One thing I can say is don't go by other people's advice as far as meeting the people you idolize.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because sometimes they're, you know, they'll be like, oh no, that guy's cool, and you go up to him and he's a fucking asshole. And other times they're like, don't go by that guy, he's a fucking prick, and he'll be the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, sometimes like I find out people have bad days.
Yeah.
They do.
No shit, right? I mean, can you imagine they might be human?
Right.
Right. But then what I look for is a pattern of behavior.
Repeat
right?
offenses.
Like I've heard like Mark Waid, Kurt Busiek. If I see, I mean, Mark Waid obviously, but Kurt Busiek also, I know because I'm a huge fan of his. As a writer, I know if I ever fucking see that guy at a convention, I'll be like, just let him walk on by.
Yeah.
Let him walk on by. Don't even talk to that motherfucker.
Now there was a video of a guy he punched Danzig in the face because he said Danzig's hard to fight. But that was a complete fucking setup after it came out that the dude was like, he was actually setting all this up so he can get more likes for his band.
Yeah, right.
Well, here's the thing. That whole incident was Danzig's bad. You know why? Because he shoved the guy, right? And to me, it's like, you can talk shit all you like, right? Blah, 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 whatever, right? But once you put hands on somebody, ding, ding, do you know what I'm saying? Once you put hands on somebody, you don't stick your finger in people's chests. You don't fucking shove people. Once you put your hands on somebody, you've fucking given up your fucking rights to having a non-broken jaw.
It's like Darkman, you know, when he puts his fingers in his chest, he's like, I told you, scram. And he's like, it's like these lightning bolts like go through the sky, and he just like takes his fingers and breaks them and throws them into the fucking elephants.
Razorfist did a whole thing on that incident, and you got to hear it.
Really?
He goes into detail. Yeah, dude. He goes,
really?
Yeah, he did a whole thing on that and just Danzig in general.
Did he do the bricks? Did he do the brick thing?
Brick thing. I don't know what that is.
Brickgate. Danzig's Brickgate.
You talking about where he sold bricks to his old house or something like that? Or?
No, he had a pile of bricks, I think, on his front yard.
Oh, I think I heard something about this.
And the neighbors were complaining about it because they said it was an eyesore. And so he came out and he was like, "You want me to move the fucking bricks? I'll move the fucking bricks." And it's one of those incidents where I'm just like, that needs like a 4-hour documentary, like in depth shit. Brickgate, yeah. Oh, the fucking bricks. Yeah,
there's a gate for everything nowadays.
I know, man. Fuck.
I know. Funny shit, man. Funny shit. You know, I gotta. Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, I've never met Danzig and spoken with him. I don't know if he has much of a sense of humor. What did you talk? What did you meet him or something like that?
No, I said you had your chance.
I had my chance.
I'm sure he has a sense of humor. I noticed some people like kind of get older, they get funnier, you know.
Yeah. Well, dude,
so they figure out how much
testosterone goes away. That's why.
It's a joke. Yeah. But
also, you look at like art. You see this a lot, right? You look at a lot of writers' early work, and it's really fucking serious. And then as they get older, it gets less and less and less and less serious.
Right.
And I mean,
more fun and funny.
Well, I that too. That's crazy, isn't it? Like they say artists lose their chops after they get a certain age. Like, because you see some artists, like they're really, really good when they're younger.
Yeah.
And then as they get older, they start drawing like a 2-year-old.
Well, so, I mean, like, it depends. It depends. Leone, for instance, I think he was only increasing in talent. I think he was somebody that was just going up, right? Because, like, in this movie, there's a lot of humor, as there is in all of Leone's movies. But this also gets into some pretty heavy shit.
Yeah, it gets dark. Like, there's a lot of long shots with the other dude. Like where they're just focused on him for like long periods of time. What up, Grey Wolf in the chat?
Grey Wolf.
For like the emotional scenes, so, you know, when a lot of his people die, and it's just hanging on there for the emotion, you know.
Yes. One of the rules I have as a writer is get to the fucking point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, start a scene as late as possible, get out of it as quickly as possible. And
it's like going to a party, man. You never want to get there, you know. You don't want to get there first, and you know you don't want to leave last.
Right. But Leone broke all those fucking rules and he pulled it off, right? Like I was saying, that there's moments in this movie that feel really, really stretched out. But it's like Once Upon a Time in the West, which he made before this, which, you know, like I always say, has like opens up with like 15 minutes of waiting.
Yeah.
Guys waiting for a train. But it's the most exciting, most compelling, most awesome, badass waiting you've ever seen in your life, right? And it also says something about how when other filmmakers try to imitate him that way, they fall fucking flat on their faces. I hate to see it, man. I hate to see it. When people are trying to fucking imitate Leone, or they're trying to, like, you know, do an homage, you know, to the Leone Westerns, it never feels right. It never feels right.
Now, do you think that's because, is it the same reason why, like, when directors try to adapt like a comic to screen, it never comes out right? It's because they're trying to impose their own creativity on top of the IP?
No, I don't think that. I don't think that's it. I think that, like, just as an example, you guys have seen the Book of Eli.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember the beginning of that, how slow that is, where he's like hunting cats or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's clearly the director is trying to be fucking Sergio Leone. But it's just fucking boring.
Yeah, it's boring as fuck. It's
boring
like
as fuck.
Nowadays you can't really get away with that if you wanted to, just because the way society is. They don't have the patience for it, you know.
Well, no, I mean, well, look, like, for instance, like Hart was like, oh, like, you know, you should, you know, Duck You Sucker, that's on streaming, you know, you should do that. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, that movie's kind of long. And then I remembered that the average length of a movie these days is 2.5 hours.
Jeez, you're right. Actually, yeah, like movies, from what I remember, used to be like
90 minutes,
50 some odd minutes to, like, no, you're right, like 90. Well, was it 90 minutes? It was in between, like,
90 to 100 minutes. 90 to 100 minutes was the
so an hour and a half, and now it's like 2.5 hours, 3-hour movies and shit like that.
Yes, and I don't. I mean, these days I don't see a new movie that pretty much any new movie that comes out, you don't see anything. Certainly mainstream movies. There's not a single one that comes out that doesn't feel like it could have lost 20 minutes or 15 minutes, or like,
some of them fucking, dude, it's like, it's so hard to stay interested with some of these movies, you know. It's like, you know, it's got a good cast and you start watching, it was like I told my wife, I was watching a movie the other night and I was like, if this fucking thing doesn't start getting interested like really fucking quick, it's going off. And she's like, we gotta give it a chance. And I'm like, we're 15 minutes in. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
the thing is Leone could do that, right? It's like fucking 15-20 minutes before James Coburn shows up.
A long ass time. I'm like, where's
long
Coburn
ass
at?
time?
And he had a cool entrance. But there was a lot of crazy shit going on in this movie. He kept you in, you know, and this movie grabs you by the throat. You got to grab people by the throat in the first 15 minutes. Just like a comic book, you got to grab them by the throat in the first 5 pages. If not, you're fucked, because you're not going to get that reader back or that viewer.
That's why I believe in action.
And action is character.
And blood.
Oh, dude, I'm in the process of writing the Street Fighter script. That's just going to be like you drawing people getting jacked up. Lots of fucking broken fucking bones. And also, I hope you're looking forward to doing like X-rays of like people's bodies getting like you know, internal injuries.
We should do some like kung fu shows, dude.
When Lit sent me the script for Doc Alpha, and he's like, I hope this isn't too bloody for you. I was like, and then I started imposing my will onto the panels, and he's like, oh, I would have never thought of that. You know, dude's fucking eyes getting plucked out, and then the fucking jaw getting yanked.
That's open right now too. Like I need to get I'm gonna try to get those books, man.
Oh, for sure. I really enjoyed the first one. And
I was gonna say, sorry.
The second one is way different. Like, it's so much, dude. There's so much action.
That's why I'm like, because I know you did that one. That's the one I really want.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of it. Brian, we should do like a kung fu, like throw that into the month. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I love to.
like one Thursday if you want like a martial arts Thursday. I don't know, with a snappy title.
Brothers.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. Oh no, I would love to do.
I mean, you had that idea already.
Yes.
So I was like, damn, that sounds fun, because I haven't seen that many of those movies, and there's a fuck ton of them.
You haven't seen them?
I know all the good ones.
Oh, what wonders we have to show you.
Yeah, dude, we should do it.
Sights we have to show you.
No, it would still be like 2 weeks of horror, 1 week of Western, and 1 week of martial arts, So it'd still be horror primary focus, which I think is a good thing.
Oh, for sure. Because once again, that's like the genre that I can talk about. In my sleep. But yeah, here's a little clip from Duck You Sucker.
Well, Jesus, well, you can't leave now. You're a great, grand, glorious hero of the revolution.
Can I tell you something?
What? Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of heavy shit going on in this movie.
Yeah, there is.
Especially, and you also see Leone playing with flashbacks the way he did in Once Upon a Time in the West. Coburn, of course, his character turns out to be a IRA terrorist / freedom fighter, whatever you want to call him. And the IRA actually, because period accuracy is fucked in any of the Leone movies, any of the spaghetti westerns. Don't look for any fucking
fantasy
period accuracy. It's the spaghetti west. It's another dimension. Right?
He's always having those flashbacks, right? Like la 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 or some shit, right?
Shon. As a kid, I always thought that the voice was going shon shon. Right. No, it's going shon 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 shon.
Shon, huh?
Which is the name of David Warbeck's character in the flashbacks. Is one of the things that's also funny about this movie. If you're a horror fan, it has not one but two of the actors that were in Lucio Fulci's The Beyond.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah, let me see here. You've got David Warbeck in the flashbacks, and then you have this guy who plays
a zombie or something?
Helmut Ruiz.
Oh, okay.
And he played Schweik, the
painter, right?
Evil artist, the painter.
At the beginning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's like one of the best, dude.
It is.
He's at the end of the movie, this guy, right? Is he the one that caps Coburn?
Yes.
Dude, oh my God. Steiger just dumped that fool out, man. Like he just kept shooting him and shooting him and shooting him and shooting him. And you could see his body just sliding all over the set till he hit the cliff, and he just I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yup. And Ron Steiger, I have to say, is fucking fantastic in this. He's really fucking good. And the two of them, Steiger and Coburn, have like real fucking chemistry.
I'd say it's Coburn's best movie that I've seen so far, to be honest.
It's one of his. It's really one of his best performances.
Because I've seen him in a lot of like 80s and 90s movies, or like late 80s, early 90s movies. I haven't seen him like when he was kind of in his prime, or you know what I mean. Yeah, so like this, like he's a cool character in here. He's got a lot of layers,
Oh my God! And Leone, of course, having these extended scenes where you're just looking at the characters' faces and they're not even saying anything, but they're saying a lot with their eyes and they're saying a lot with their faces.
Yeah.
It's like the remake, really the remake of Once Upon a Time in the West. That thing is fucking amazing. Like they did a lot of the same stuff in there.
The remake of Once Upon a Time in the West? There wasn't a remake of that, bro. Not yet.
There will be, right?
Now we fucking know it all fucking CGI.
All
and
female
shit.
CGI and AI to. I'd say like the. Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the death scene, man. I thought Coburn did a great job in there, man. Like you keep thinking he's dead and he's not, and he's dead, and they're like, well, how? Man, he's doing a great job, like just acting this out. But and then you don't really know how he goes, or does he go? And the way he goes,
Oh, he goes exactly the way that he's gonna go with a bang.
Yeah, right.
And then, of course, speaking of a bang, we have a bridge in a spaghetti western. That shit's getting blown up.
Yeah.
The moment you see it, you're like, that shit's going kaboom. in a major way. And yeah, and this is just a fucking great scene.
I love the guns in here, man. This is just like a cool, like, I almost put it in like the weird Western genre, even though it's not, but it kind of is, because it's kind of in like the spaghetti, because it's got the really cool characters, and it's right on the cusp of like, the technology is moving up, like with the motorbike and stuff.
Yeah, except that German machine gun wouldn't exist until about 8 to 10 years after this takes place. Mm. But once again, Spaghettiverse.
Fuck it, right?
Fuck it. I give zero fucks. Right? It's Sergio. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. You can have the Civil War being fought in Texas. He can do that. He can do that. Can do it. Yeah, and of course, shot in Almeria, Spain. Just these fucking landscapes are just unbelievable, man. Fucking gorgeous. So, of course, they built this bridge and blew it the fuck up. Built it to blow up the fuck up. The budget on this was insane. You look at Fistful of Dollars, that's a very low budget movie. The budgets for these movies got bigger. The movies got longer. These movies just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And
that's what I was saying, dude. Like that one scene where they're shooting everybody in those trenches. I was like, one trench, two trench, three trench, and then you just see like this massive shot, like from like a crane. I'm like, damn, that's fucking massive. The set on that bitch. I was watching the Beastmaster the other night, and I was just thinking, man, this looks like it's filmed in California, and sure enough, it was 90% California. And I'm like, dude, look at this set, bro. Like they keep zooming out, and they built the pyramid, they built a little town. They built a moat and a drawbridge. I'm like, man, I want to fucking build one of those in California.
It's back in the day. Nowadays, it's all CGI. It's green screen. Yeah.
And there's all these big zoom out shots. And they have these like helicopter shots in there, like a lot of them. Those ones are a few of them are in Utah, I think, or just Arizona or Utah. There's a couple in there. But, man, that movie is solid. Solid as a rock.
Amazing. And I've got, Don Coscarelli's True Indie, which is his book about his filmmaking career. And his experience making that, he said, for the most part was positive, except that the star, Mark Singer, was acting very, very strangely. And it must have been roid rage, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he said, like on one of the takes, he actually ran past the camera and like tackled him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then another time, he just like threw a conniption fit, just started fucking screaming and stomping around. And Coscarelli was like, fuck this, I'll be in my trailer. And here's a knock at the trailer door. And he opens it, and it's Mark Singer, and he's like, I need a hug.
Oh, wow.
Singer put on massive amounts of muscle for those movies, dude. By the time the third one came around, he was like, oh my God.
That's what I was saying. Like I was just watching the first one, and I was like, dude, this guy's getting bigger by like since the first movie, the beginning of the movie, towards the end. I don't know if they shot it in sequential order, but towards the end, he was getting bigger. And then I saw some of the 2 and 3. I'm like, damn, he looks even puffier in 2 and 3. And I'm gonna go watch those motherfuckers too.
3 was the worst fucking movie.
Three was the worst.
Yeah.
I had hopes for that one. I saw Tony Todd in there. I'm like, cool, Tony Todd. I'm like, he would be a cool.
Whenever they take a cool character like that and they bring it to like our reality.
Oh, that was the second one.
That's the Death Note.
Yeah, it's like the Masters of the Universe movie, and I know that movie has its defenders and that there are people who love it, but I'm sorry, it's a piece of shit.
It is. It's garbage, dude.
No, it's not. The movie's awesome. You're tripping. That's Frank.
It has lovers. It has
Langella's best role ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's so good in there.
He was good Dracula too. He was good Dracula.
I mean, that's a second, in my opinion.
Nah, he wasn't a good.
No, he's much better Skeletor. Because also he's chewing up the scenery.
He is, and he said that's his favorite role too. Whatchamacallit, I was going to say, though, the Beastmaster 2, I know we're sidetracking, but real quick. Beastmaster 2 is the one that they ripped off of Masters of the Universe where they come to our reality. The third one, you guys saw that one with Tony Todd?
Yeah.
That one was supposed to be in their reality.
That's like a TV movie.
Okay.
The third one is when he had that weird hair, right? Well, where he had like the poodle cut or whatever.
And Wings Hauser. Once, like, I remember when Beastmaster 2 was coming out, and I saw that the villain was Wings Hauser. I was like, "Uh-oh, this is gonna be a piece of shit."
Because I'm all about the barbarian genre. Like to me, like there's there's sorcery.
Beastmaster was the shit.
Beastmaster was the shit.
Son.
And you know what's sad? It bombed at the fucking box office. Bombed hard.
Yeah.
And
it almost went straight to video, I think.
And then it became a monster hit. A monster hit on HBO.
And Rip Torn in there. Oh my God, he's so good.
Dude, he was really good. Yeah. And those things, those bat things that came down, like, those things are fucking amazing. Yeah.
Fucking Coscarelli knocked it out of the park with that movie. It's awesome. And if it had been a hit, but that's the thing. It's like if you make a movie like that, Big Trouble in Little China or Dread, that is to say, you make a movie that it comes out, it bombs, and then it comes out on video and it finds its audience. It doesn't matter. That's
what I want to do before I die, man. I want to make a movie like that with like monsters, like this badass shit like that. I think would you consider? I think that Barbarians is like a genre, like the Barbarian genre. I think it's a genre now.
Absolutely.
There's so many.
Fantasy.
It's different not even medieval. You know what I'm saying? Like medieval is
even higher low fantasy, just straight up barbarian. You know, because you got like
sword and sorcery.
Right? Not even that. Well, I mean, it is that, but it just kind of goes like the dudes kind of all look the same, and it's kind of. I mean, it is sword and sorcery.
I think that's sword and sorcery, though, isn't it? Like
it is
sword and sorcery / peplum / sword and sandal /
like
I call it high
Beastmaster and.
Did you see Skrull or something like that? The one with the what was it? It was that thing was
that movie's dope.
Blade. Yeah. Dude, they had this weapons guy on YouTube was like, he recreated like movie props and stuff like that. He was like, the Glade is some serious shit. That motherfucker goes in. And he just took some fishing knives and made a Glade out of fishing knives. Like this motherfucker's like dead. Look, he's like it's serious. Like if you really made one of these, it would fuck people up. Like he threw it at a mannequin,
more likely,
and it threw the mannequin and went inside a fucking tree, dude.
What?
Shit, dude. Yeah.
It went through what?
It ripped this mannequin across the chest, like went deep too, dude, and went into a fucking tree. And he's like trying to yank it out the trees. Like, fuck, dude.
It was buried in there, huh? Jeez. Yeah,
he's like, dude.
Those are the kind of weapons where it's just like, I think you're more likely to fuck yourself up than somebody else.
I wouldn't try to catch it. I looked like the dude off of Road Warrior where I'm like, fingers come down.
Toady, yeah. Let's take a little look at this bridge scene because it's pretty bad. And so this is supposed to be like, I guess these guys are supposed to be like German soldiers. And I looked up, just to check. It's like, really? Were the Germans involved in the Mexican Revolution? And no, not really. I mean, I think they were to a slight degree. Like literally, it's you look at like the body. It's in the Wikipedia page. It's like you have like different nationalities, the body count, and like for Mexicans, it's like 2,750,000 something.
When was because you had the Austrian ruler? Remember, like from the other movie we were watching the other day, he ruled for like 5 minutes.
Yes, Maximilian.
Some Austrians there. Yeah,
there were Germans that fought and died in the Mexican Revolution. All 2 of them. Both of them. Yeah, literally, it's like Germany 2. But but once again, we're in the spaghetti verse. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Остановите там, сержант.
Place for a ambush.
Place for a nap. Sleeping.
Yeah, and he thinks that John is sleeping here.
Yeah, right.
But it's just obvious that he's not. He's just, got his hat down.
Только идиот может спать в такой момент.
cold chilling, waiting for these fools just to come into his crosshairs.
Just like Book of Eli. Remember when he was laying down, he shot that cat in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, I can actually go through a bunch of like Leone attempts or Leone inspired movies. People have tried doing the shit that he did, and I'm sorry, they fall flat on their faces. Tarantino does a lot of Leone. I've never seen his remake of the Inglourious Bastards, but supposedly that's like very.
God, Tarantino is such a great director.
not as good as Rob Zombie though. Rob Zombie's shit. Got those fools in his crosshairs. Yeah, so Juan here is just like waiting to open up, right? He's just like when are we gonna start shooting? He's just holding that finger. He's just holding that thumb up.
The Adventures of Juan and John.
Yes, yeah, it's destiny, as he says at the beginning of the movie.
Like, what the fuck?
He's never fired a Browning machine gun before. You know, it's not like he had a chance to practice. Yeah, it's going off, and the gun's jumping around, and just for a real quick second, you see him go like that. He's like praying to God. He's trying to adjust the volume. Like, what you doing? What you doing? Fuck. Let's see. Yeah. Busting shots, hoping to hit someone.
Бросайте машины в рассыпную и под мост.
Is that Russian?
Oh,
Sounds like
that's
Russian.
Russian.
Артиллерия, огонь!
Mowing those fools down. And this is one of the reasons why some people would classify this as a war movie, but it's not. It's a Western that's set in a war. Just robbing fools. Dumping them in ditches. And then, of course, after fucking the massacre, gotta
massacre.
gotta blow that fucking bridge up.
The music.
Oh, Morricone. I have to say, this is one of his best scores. I think it's absolutely fucking magnificent. It's beautiful. That is a lot of smoke and dust.
Matt, did you know there was a Beastmaster TV show?
Yeah, I saw it's on.
Yeah, that was like
Tubi
one.
right now.
That was.
But it's what a younger, more teenish type of Beastmaster.
That was one of the series that they came out with on the heels of the Sam Raimi Hercules.
Oh,
right. So they did a Beastmaster series, and they also did Conan.
I remember Conan.
It's the worst pick for Conan too.
With Ralph Fuller, right? That one's on TV.
The selling point was Arnold himself picked this guy to play Conan.
Yes, Arnold chose him. That's right. God damn it.
They have a Conan cartoon also of the same
Dude,
name.
I like that cartoon. That cartoon was the shit.
That was good.
I'm watching it with my son right now, and like, damn, this just he's got fucking star metal. His dad makes him a fucking sword out of star metal.
Dude, it was good. I like that cartoon.
No, it's dope, dude. He like in the first episode, he becomes a slave and all kinds of crazy shit. Pirate, and they do a lot of nods to like the books too. It's cool about it, you know, like the Phoenix on the sword and everything.
Yep.
You can tell whoever did that cartoon like really loved.
Yeah,
Roy
it's
Thomas.
like better than the He-Man cartoon, and I'm like, damn, I can't wait to watch this because I remember like thinking back to He-Man.
It's kind of shitty, but it's not as bad as you think, and it's
storyline's
really good.
Story's good. The animation's better than He-Man, and the story's better than He-Man. I was like, fuck, and I never even knew about it as a kid. I would have watched the shit.
Oh yeah. The thing is the idea of making a Conan animated series for kids is insane.
Oh yeah, it's just bad. You know,
it's
like
they had to tap that
idea. Yeah,
and they actually kind of pulled it off, right?
A little bit. I have to say they did.
Yeah,
you know? It's almost. I mean, none of that even touches Thundar the Barbarian.
No, nothing touches Thundar the Barbarian.
Even the villain in there was fucking metal, dude. He had those two big ass blades. What was his name? Like something Amon. I forgot his name, but he's like a snake dude, and he looked dope.
Oh man, Alex Toth designs in that. Also some Jack Kirby, I think.
And the cartoon,
dude, like they took legends to go ahead and fucking design that shit.
The cartoon?
Yeah.
I think we're talking about Thundar though. Is that right?
Okay. You're talking about Thundar, yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about the Conan cartoon.
I don't know who they had in charge of Conan, but they did have a really good story, like writer for that.
I mean, from the first episode, his family gets turned into stone. I was like, that's a pretty good selling point. And then he gets a sword made out of star metal. His dad forges for him. I'm like, okay, this is dope. And they make him like a slave, and it's fucking cool. Like, it's pretty deep for kids.
Really good.
My son was digging it.
Uh-oh. Pops is mad. Damn, Ryan, at least put your backgrounds up. What about my backgrounds? No, I got a message from Pops. He was all in a panic over the N-word, the dreaded N-word. He's like, don't play that. Don't play that scene.
It's just probably shouldn't play that scene.
No, I had no intention of. I'm not fucking stupid. I mean, I am, but not that stupid, I should say. I have some rudimentary intelligence.
I love the music, man. Like they just destroyed all these people and the big old
Morricone, motherfucker! Morricone!
pretty
my
dope.
God! The Team Supreme, man. The Team Supreme. There's Winter Reese tasting the bitter taste of defeat. It's like, I'm going to shoot James over. Yeah, that armored car is dope.
Oh yeah. And they spent some money on this movie.
A ton.
They spent some money on this, like just like the locomotives and oh man, yeah, pretty epic.
You had Hollywood money invested in this one.
Fuck you money.
Yup. And Leone, by the way, turned down one film that he really came to regret turning down. You know what movie he turned down directing?
Wizard of
The
Oz.
Godfather.
Oh,
I don't know if he would have did a good job on The Godfather.
Oh, he would have. I don't know if it would have been as good. It may have even been better. I don't know. Well, dude, fucking Leone. Fucking nobody can touch Leone as far as I'm concerned.
As far as Westerns.
But yeah, I mean, he did Once Upon a Time in America, which was his version, kind of the Godfather, and it's not as good as the Godfather. But then again, it's if you have a great script, which is great script that's based on a great novel, that's half the job right there.
That movie I was telling you about, it was Old Man. God damn it! I can't. It's about Jesse James.
Oh yeah, you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the movie, but they did a shout out to Sergio Leone in that, because the guy was talking about, the making of the movie and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, yeah, we're doing it, in the vein of Sergio Leone and stuff like that. I can't remember the guy's name now. It was Old Man something. I can't. There's
if you liked Sisu, there's a movie on Netflix I recommend called Blood and Gold.
Blood and Gold.
Yeah,
I'll write that down.
And it's aight. But it's
you're all right. Might be like,
awesome. Yeah. That's why I mentioned it. But it's also one of those movies that's trying to do Leone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, let it fucking go. Right? There's certain, look, not that Leone's work doesn't have show up in my own stuff, but it's more like a feeling rather than, the music or any of like the surface details, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or stylistic choices.
Right.
Like the John Woo movies, for instance, are, you have Sergio Leone all over them, but there's at no point can you go, oh, he took that from Leone, or that's an homage, or that's an homage. No, not at all. But they still have that same feeling of fun and adventure and comedy and also sincerity, right? Because there's funny shit, but it never takes you out of the movie. It's not like in the Marvel movies where suddenly people are just like making jokes at like totally inopportune moments.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty lame. Takes you right out.
And it's called Old Henry is what it is. That's the name of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they do a huge shout out to Sergio Leone, especially in the after credits when they're doing an interview with the main actor, and star the movie.
Everybody loves Sergio, man. Everybody loves Sergio. Everybody wants to be Sergio, but only Sergio can ever be fucking Sergio. I had tickets. I know I mentioned this before. I had a ticket to see Morricone live in Brooklyn with a full orchestra.
Oh, that's cool.
And I still have the ticket here someplace because I refuse to fucking throw it out.
Did you go?
But he slipped a disc in his back.
Oh,
yeah. And so the show was canceled. I got my money back, but I still have the fucking ticket. And I refuse to fucking throw that thing out, man. I refuse to throw that out. Because to me, it's like, I almost saw Morricone.
Kristen said, you're about to slip another disc if you don't get over there and play your orchestra.
Right? No, look, Homeboy was like in his 80s. Right? So it's just like, dude, let's stay home and fucking take care of yourself first things foremost, right?
He could have done it from his house, dude, with like the,
let's fucking Zoom
meet. Like,
fuck that.
They had a bunch of bands doing that during COVID. Like,
yeah,
they have online concerts. I was like,
it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
hard to get into.
I couldn't get into that, but I also understood, like, well, what were their options?
Right, yeah.
Right. So, and you still want to stay on people's radar and
gotta be relevant. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, it used to be a band could come out with a record every 3 or 4 years. Now they have to come out with a new record every 2 years.
That's
well,
why
it used to be
bands are, like,
they just needed one good song, and then they could sell the whole record off of that one good song, and then you got a whole record full of garbage.
Corn,
But you had one good song.
Corn was
Right.
that band. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They should have been a EP band because it was just like,
Dude, I love
one filler,
nowadays.
all filler.
Absolutely, because now you can't have filler. You actually have to work for your food.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because now it's all about singles. That's
Well,
all
now,
it
yeah,
is.
they got to put singles like that band, Psychcore, man. Like, they dropped their album for free or whatever, and like 75% of the album they already had dropped all the singles because you have to put out a song every 3 months, you know. So
Yeah, it's
pretty
crazy.
wild.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and then touring and everything. I can imagine like how that's got to wear on people.
It's a pirate life, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine, I'm sure it's fun too, but I can also imagine once you, at a certain point, if you've been doing that shit for like 20 or 30 years, it must get really fucking old.
And I'll be straight with you, like doing cons, like
Yeah.
for a few years, like just
Yeah.
going from hotel to hotel.
Yeah.
And then once it stopped and COVID hit, and then I was like, okay, I could do cons again. And I was like, what the fuck ever drove me to do this shit? Like, it
Well,
was
when you're
so fucking ridiculous, dude. Yeah.
Well, dude, cons are exhausting. I mean, I love doing them. I miss doing them. I gotta fucking, obviously this year's, convention season's nearly done. But next year, man, for sure, I got to. I miss it, but it's exhausting. I don't know. What I don't understand is how people fucking go out and party.
Yeah, right.
We used to do that. Like every time we did a show, we used to go party, especially when we did Houston or San Antonio.
Well, that's
And,
also part of like the experience and networking and shit. But I would always just go straight to fucking bed.
Well, you could, but then you'd miss it. Like I met a horror from Star Trek. You know what I'm saying? And people like that. And and that was at the bar. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, dude, this is fucking sweet. Like you sitting there drinking your drink, and right next to you is like Jean-Luc Picard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Hello,
well, fucking Simon Bisley,
Yeah.
fucking meeting up with him and drinking like outside of the hotel. I was like, this is the greatest.
Gotta meet that dude someday.
experience ever.
His brain. Dude, yeah, I can't wait for that new book to come out. I totally forgot about that. It's called Hell Mask. It's going to be Sword and Sorcery by Lynn Danzig and Simon Bisley. It's coming out. Dude. It's coming out like this summer, man. So put it on your pull list.
I'm definitely getting that one.
Yeah, but you can't if it's a Verotic book, but it's not really on the side or anything. So I don't know how they're handling it now. But it's in diamond, so
it's strange. I wonder how they're going to do that.
I don't know, man. And the cover's dope. It's just a dude with like a metal mask, and it's a sword. It's going to be sword and sorcery, And it's like, I don't know. I guess I don't know if all sword and sorcery has the big barbarian buff dudes, with the swords and shit, But I kind of feel like
Scroll.
Barbarian. It's like Scroll, right?
That never had a big buff dude in it.
And it was sword and sorcery, right? So like for me, I feel that like Barbarian is just a little subgenre of sword and sorcery, I mean,
yeah, but do they have a lot of Barbarian like movies out there?
They do actually, like books,
like not shitty ones though. You know what I'm saying? Like good ones.
Conan's the best. Beastmaster would probably be second. And then you have like some like lower tier ones after that. Like
I like the Hercules, the dude that played Hercules in a TV show. He did one called, what was that?
Oh, Cole? Yeah.
Cole the Conqueror. Dude,
yeah.
that was good, dude. I fucking like that.
Consider that one. And then there's Deathstalker, a Deathstalker movie. That one was pretty.
Oh my god! Well, Deathstalker isn't its own fucking field.
Yeah, but I would still put it in the Barbarian verse. Same thing with Barbaric, that one too. Pretty much with the Barbarian that's kind of leading things. They gotta have a big weapon, a buff dude. You know what I mean? Or chick. That and that's a subgenre of sword and sorcery.
What about Red Sonja? Would be Red Sonja?
Definitely a Barbarian movie.
Yeah, Red Sonja is not a character that was created by Robert E. Howard. She was created by Roy Thomas.
Roy Thomas, right?
Yes.
She was a money grab.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's very Howardian. She's a combination of like Robert E. Howard characters, right? She's basically sort of like a redheaded version of Valeria.
Right. That's why it's
they had a big thing in Marvel back in the day around the same time Red Sonja came out, where it was like, we got to get female versions of our characters out before DC gets female versions of our characters. No, I'm serious. That's where She-Hulk came from.
I know you're not joking. This shit's funny though. I know. It's
it just seems like it feels a lot like Red Sonja was one of those characters because it came out around the same time She-Hulk came out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then there's the Red Sonja movie in which Schwarzenegger was supposed to play Conan.
It's Calidor.
And Calidor at the very last minute, and I mean like the last minute, they panicked and just went, okay, you won't be Conan, you'll be Calidor.
Well, I heard in one of the Conan stories, he actually uses the alias Calidor. I don't know if it was a straight up Howard book, but it's definitely in a Conan book. He uses that alias before that movie. So it's like a it's a low key Conan movie. Not in. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? That movie, I really love that movie. I realize that it's Red Sonja. I realize it's a piece of junk. I think that the lead role is miscast terribly. The sword that she's carrying looks like, I don't know, something that Guar came up with. And for some reason, I just think that that's a really fun little movie. And of course,
I liked it.
Has an absolutely awesome score by Morricone.
Yeah, and you get Valeria's back in there as a villain, Sandra Bergman.
Yes.
So I don't know. I liked it.
It's fun. It's a fun. It's a genuinely fun movie.
But it's like that first one, man. That first one. But I'm all about the Barbarian genre right now, man. I'm just like trying to find whatever I can. It's like even the trash. Like I'm looking for all the trash from like the 80s,
Yeah. Well, you know what you really should check out are it's got to be for cheap is the black and white. Like the Marvel came out with the Essentials, right? Black and white reprints, the ones of the Cull stories. A lot of which were backup stories in Savage Sword of Conan, right? Yeah. Conan was so popular in comic books that when the movie came out in 1982, a lot of critics were saying, "Oh, this is based on a comic book," because people didn't know who Conan was until Roy Thomas brought him into the comics. And Roy Thomas deserves so much fucking credit, man. He was the fucking guy that was the keeper of the flame.
He put it back on the map, dude.
Oh, dude, in such a fucking major way, and in a way, really, and up until because remember, I mean, Marvel comics were largely written and read by hippies at that time, and it was the hippies that discovered the Lord of the Rings. It was the hippies who discovered Robert E. Howard. It was the hippies that basically, discovered the sword and sorcery genre.
Elric.
You know what's really good too? Is the Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser by Fritz Lieber. There's a collection of the short stories that's fantastic, and I know that there have been comic book adaptations, although I've never read any of them. Those characters I think would be great in comic books, and I never see them. I don't know, and there's never been a Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser movie either. So I don't. Basically, Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, it's a Viking who decided. Welcome back, Preston.
Yo, having internet problems over here.
Is it rainy, stormy?
Nah, it's just asshole.
I was having some last week.
It's the spyware. It's the spyware. It's getting close to the election. They got to fucking keep fucking tabs on what everybody's fucking saying.
Probably because we mentioned something about Biden or some shit.
Right.
We said something about the Nero cake is in it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, they caught that shit that we were talking about De Niro. And you know what? Fuck De Niro. He's one of those guys that is a great talent.
Yeah.
But lazy as fuck. He's one of those guys.
He's never a big De Niro.
He's one of those guys like Brando was like this too, towards the end of his career, where he's like, you know what? Everybody says how great, tells me how great I am, blowing all the smoke up my ass. You know what? All I have to fucking do is just show up.
Just show up.
You show up. Right? They ceased giving a shit. That's one of the things I'll say about Pacino. That guy never ceased to give a shit. De Niro ceased to give a shit a long fucking time ago. Just doesn't care. Clearly does not fucking care. You know, and to me, it's just like, I despise that in an artist because, you know, you guys are like me, where it's just like, we want to go out like fucking Hawkeye, right?
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Fucking like in our 80s going, oh, I can be a little bit better. Oh, I can be a little bit better.
Always.
You know, I have no respect for people that just fucking, you know, kick back and go, I'm good enough. It's like, no. That's another thing. That's the thing I'll say about Neil Adams too, was the fact that he was a guy that even towards the end of his career was working on being a better artist.
Dude, even on those like last covers he did with fucking Dead Man, like one cover was glow in the dark. Another one was you flip it upside down on the back, it's a different face. Another one is like you hold it up to the light and you could see like a secret message. All the last 6 Dead Man covers he did for DC all had a cool little gig or a little gag, you know? He was always just thinking.
Neil Adams was a beast, dude.
Yeah, he was.
I love dude, his Conan. Oh my god. Like the way you draw Conan, so fucking
oh man. Cool. His covers for Deadly Hands of Kung Fu.
Oh,
holy fucking shit! Because you know I got that omnibus because I'm thinking like, you know, this Kung Fu comic that Preston and I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of want it to be in that spirit, and those were all in black and white. Oh, and you know, that's entirely up to Preston to like whenever we get around to this project, but it's up to him whether it's in black and white or color.
I'm cool with it being black and white. I'm cool with it being in black and white and red.
Yeah, right.
Oh, dude. You know? Teddy Sarugi.
I would totally be down with that, like old school, you know.
Yeah, dude.
I figured you would.
Like Batman black and white, because I remember a few guys with the black and white books.
Dude,
did exactly that. You know?
Dude, I hate fucking and you know what? It's like our current boy. What's his name? Dave, I think. He's doing these beautiful covers, these beautiful colors, right? He's doing a really great job.
Yeah.
But when I get shit like that's like this, I kind of like want it to stay like that. We got to do like a black and white artist
omnibus,
something, because the shit's is fucking beautiful. And yes, Preston, I'm sorry, but the toes had to go.
I like the colors. Yes. Colors is badass.
No, I mean colors are great. I like when you color your shit. Especially.
Talk about a fine. Yeah, but I can't paint everything. Like,
no,
I'm regretting painting, like signing up for this bullshit. Doing testing.
No, yeah, and I can't wait to read that shit, man. I'm looking forward to getting that. Now, did Doc Alpha 2 has that shipped yet? Because I forget if I
backed shipped. Yeah, I got a copy of it, and I will even though I did the book, I went ahead and read it and I'll see why he did it. Like he edited out a couple of pages that I did for the book because it was redundant. You know what I'm saying? And and it was a really good move on his part. And as much as I like to talk trash about Ollie actually did a pretty good job on it. He never did a bad job on the final product.
That's what I'm saying. I liked Ollie's colors personally, but
well, no. I mean, there was a few stuff like points in there. I was like, hey, look, done a little bit better, but whatever.
You're the artist. You know, let the artist decide about that shit. I mean,
Lynn had an idea to go with more of a California color style, right? Like palette, like that bright colors. You know what I'm saying? Like really, like sunny colors.
Yeah.
Warm.
And I questioned that hard, but I never really. But it's his call. He's the IP owner, you know.
Right.
And but after looking at the book, I was like, that's a pretty good move. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
like it definitely sets it. It screams Doc Alpha. You know.
Well, I mean, that's why, like, I have, zero remorse over, like, toning down the gore in the new Six Gun.
Well, no, you should have. I mean, you should want to go ahead
Yes.
and take an interest in stuff like
Yes.
that. You know what
yes,
I'm saying? Like,
yes, but that's because that is what it is. Whereas opposed if I'm writing something like Hell Knight or fucking Nine Devils or anything else for you, or the fucking Street Fighter thing that I'm writing now, that's designed so you could just fucking go off. Right? It's like the chains are off. Just fucking you do you, boo.
you see,
Same with Matt.
if we're doing the Street Fighter book and you say no, we take the severed toes out, I would be like, no, we're not taking.
No,
it.
fuck you. So you have my.
You know what?
You not only have my permission, you have my deepest soul desire. To please, if I say that, to tell me to go fuck myself.
I'll just say like hire somebody else to take the fucking.
But you
toes
said
out.
to go
We'll take
fuck
it.
you. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you hire somebody to do the job, you leave them alone to do the job.
Have you gotten any interest in the Street Fighter? Like
I haven't
project
been
that you-
I haven't been promoting it. I mean, we don't have any art yet, right?
Yeah,
And to me, it's a
absolutely.
side project, right? Where it's like it's one of those things. I'm going to write it, and you get to it when you feel like getting to it. But it's also going to be a done in one. It's going to be a one shot.
Yeah.
Like maybe I don't know.
I can agree with that.
Somewhere between 20 and 30 pages, I'm guessing, because yeah.
Well, you're going to write it for 20 or 30 pages.
Well, I'm going to
It
write
doesn't mean
it.
it's going to end up to be 20 or 30.
Yeah. No, I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it. When I write for you, I write on a curve, right? Where I'm just kind of like, oh, he might want to like turn this into like a splash page. He might want to turn this into like a Jack Kirby Fantastic Four, like double page spread or some shit like that. Although that's going to be tough because then you have to fucking, count carefully so that it's like, right where the staples right where the staples are. I hate like the double page spreads where you have to really bend the binding.
No, it has to be on an even page.
Yes.
So you start a double page on a 2, 4, 6, 8. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As long as you stick to that, because number one, the first page is always going to be the first page that people see, and then you turn it in. Yeah, that's not a big deal. I don't think so.
Hell yeah. Oh, for next week, I'm thinking I've been searching on the YouTubes, and I finally found they've got like a pristine fucking copy of The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue.
Ooh.
Nice.
Also, the David Cronenberg's The Brood.
Mm.
So I'm thinking next week will be like one of those, possibly. If you haven't seen Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue, that's the best non-Romero zombie movie. Certainly, God. I mean, I don't consider 28 Days Later to be a zombie movie because they're not zombies; they're the infected. And Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue, there's a sonic pesticide. Right, they get rid of pesticides and replace it with the sonic thing that kills insects, but it also has like this nasty little side effect of turning corpses into flesh-eating ghouls.
That sounds pretty scary. Is it Gothic too, or what's the time period?
No, it's set in the early 70s.
Okay,
the
cool.
opening of it is famous, at least amongst horror fans, right? Because it opens up in the city. And everybody, like, how the beginning of Shaun of the Dead, how, everybody in the morning, all the people are zombified, right? That's taken kind of from the beginning of The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue, because people are just like the theaters and everything. Everybody looks sort of like kind of dead-eyed.
Yeah.
And suddenly there's a streaker. And this chick just throws her clothes off and runs through traffic, flashing the fucking peace sign, streaking. I think that's something that should come back. I'm not volunteering, I'm just saying, like, if that were to become a thing again, I think streaking was fucking awesome. But this hot chick throws her clothes off, runs through traffic, flashing the fucking peace sign, and nobody gives a fuck.
And a zombie comes out and eats her face off.
Right.
Oh, that actually has one. That has a scene that is in my top 3 or 4 like scariest scenes in a horror movie ever.
Mm.
Yeah. What is it?
Living Dead of the Manchester Morgue. Let me see if I can.
No, what is the scene?
It's in a tomb. Ray Lovelock, who was in Django Kill. Remember, he was like the that cute young boy that.
Okay, I'm not remembering any cute young boys in any of these movies.
You don't remember? You don't remember? Dude, did you watch Django?
Absolutely
Kill?
not. Absolutely, I don't remember any cute young boys. Do you remember any cute young boys, Matt?
Nah.
Come on, Matt. You remember
That's one of the most memorable scenes in that fucking movie. That's one of the most memorable scenes in that fucking movie is when they're all eating and they're all eyeing him and he's fucking sweating because he knows.
Sorry, dude. You have to show me an example. I don't remember any cute young boys in any movies.
So they're gonna fucking pound his ass, and sure enough, they pound his ass. Yeah, that movie's a fucking. That movie's insane. But let me see if I can find the trailer real quick because that would be a cool thing too. To at the end of each stream start, drop in trailers or something for the next picture.
Good idea.
Let me see. Right, downloading that shit. By the way, before when I ran out of my seat, I'm sorry, but I had a little bit of a gastrointestinal emergency.
Oh snap!
That falls under TMI.
Hey, I'm keeping it real, dude. You know me. I keeps it real. Even when I shouldn't, even when I know that I shouldn't, I can't help myself. I keeps it so real that I keeps it real at the wrong moments. All right, hold on a sec. Let me share screen. And by the way, everybody who's tuning in, thank you so much for hanging out, cold chilling with us. We do appreciate you. Smash that like button if it's not a bother.
You know what's cool? Did I tell you Netflix has Scavenger's Reign on it?
Oh, it does? Ooh.
Yeah. And so I seen it, but I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it again. And it's just as good, like on a second watch.
I'm watching the Cyberpunk series right now. It's really good. Delicious in Dungeon is fucking awesome if you haven't watched that. That's like that's not as good as the manga. It's better than the manga. Yeah, they actually shot this in the cemetery. You know who's buried there? Little John. As in Robin Hood and his merry men, Little John. Yeah, buried in that cemetery.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like the real Little John?
The real, as in Robin Hood, Little John. Yeah.
So Robin Hood was
buried
real?
in that cemetery. He's buried in that cemetery where they shot this.
Get the fuck out of here. I thought Robin Hood was just a myth.
Nope, not at all.
It's just that there's a multitude of myths or a multitude of legends, so they don't really know exactly who he was, and they also think it was a job title.
That may have been a Beowulf, right? That's the whole concept of the 13th Warrior. It's Beowulf, the true story, right? It's
really,
that's
what it is.
Beowulf. Yeah, they toned that down in the movie because they figured that the audience was too stupid, right? Which is stupid. Because first of all, always assume that your fucking audience is as smart as you are, or go fuck yourself.
Right.
That's like books that try to talk down to you. Like,
oh god,
I hate those.
Yeah, that's the scene right there where they go into a tomb, and it closes on them, and they ain't alone. This movie, by the way, there are a lot of horror movies that have multiple. I'm sorry, I'm getting fucking cottonmouth here. I gotta fucking. It's this. I'm getting sick of listening to myself. We got something to drink.
Cottonmouth King.
I found a cottonmouth on a wood pile out here.
Cottonmouth snake.
Yeah, he was curled up. I was I had a tree fall after a storm in the driveway. I went and chopped it up, and I took the canvas off of the wood pile to throw the wood up there, and he was curled up, slithering away as I was pulling the canvas back.
Snake? What kind?
That was a water moccasin.
Oh!
Yeah.
Then you have our friend Michael Bancroft, who lives in the poisonous reptile capital of the fucking world.
Pangea.
Well, fucking Australia, man. Pangea. Fucking Australia is like literally the
max.
Yeah. Like the most venomous snake in the world is the black mamba. That's in Africa. But I'm just saying, like, just per capita in terms of like, if there's a snake, it's like, if you see a snake, it's likely to be
deadly,
venomous. Whereas like here, like in New York, you see a snake, it's usually, there have been rattler sightings, but generally speaking, it's like the biggest thing you'll run into is like a garden snake.
See, that's completely different from Louisiana. Louisiana, everything wants to kill you.
Arthur Kennedy, who does his best Irish accent in this. This is also a famous movie for being on the banned movies list, on being on the video nasties list.
The nasties?
You know, the video nasties. You know, that's when the cops were like literally breaking it, like charging into fucking video stores and grabbing horror movies off the fucking shelves.
We're gonna get this nerd.
Yeah, this was like one of the biggest movies on their list because it makes the cops feel bad. Yeah, because it makes the cop. This movie's very anti-police.
Everybody hates a critic, you know. Oh, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, this is a scene from that scene. I'm telling you, every time I see it, like, and even though I've seen it like a million times, it's still when I see it, I go, yeah.
Get you, huh?
Yeah.
Creepy, huh? Yeah, they're pretty creepy looking.
So they just rise?
No, well, you'll see it. What this zombie does is he's trying to eat them, but he's having a hard time, so he goes for reinforcements. He goes over to a coffin and he throws the top aside, and there's blood on him, and he dips his fingers in it, and then he touches his fingers to one eye on the corpse and then the next eye, like he's baptizing them or something.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's really fucking insane. It's like, it's just really fucking creepy. And whereas like the Romero zombies, it's like they're not smart, they're not strong, they're not fast, but there's just a billion of them. Here, that's it's quantity over quality over quantity. There aren't that many. There's only maybe at most maybe like 7 zombies in this, but they can fucking pull you in half. They can literally like pull tombstones out of the fucking ground and fucking throw them at you. They're like super strength. Ooh,
that's pretty
nice, gory trailer.
Yeah, let's do that, man. Let's do that next week.
Yeah, are you guys sold?
Yeah,
I'm sold. It's pretty creepy, man.
Yeah, it's by a snap. Isn't that a pretty owl? Isn't that gorgeous?
Creepy owl.
And that's the other thing too. There you get to see a cute owl, but yeah, this was almost impossible. You couldn't get a hold of this until like the 2000s.
It's like a good popcorn zombie movie right there.
Yeah, it's sort of art housey, right?
Oh, okay.
And I mean in a good way, but it doesn't mean that it skimps on the fucking gore, right? It's not that it's not that it's like, oh, this is a horror movie, but it's not really a horror movie. No, it's a fucking horror movie. But it's by a guy that normally did artsy and political movies. Fire! I also highly suggest. I've got the Blu-ray for that movie, and it has the most retarded fucking spoiler right on the cover.
That sucks.
You fucking idiots. Now, I mean, it wasn't a spoiler for me, because I've seen that movie 100 times, and I guess they assume, well, if you're buying this, you've probably already seen it. Like,
right.
But don't fucking assume that.
Yeah.
It's like, how dare you, motherfuckers? All right. Shall we adjourn and then next week reconvene for The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue?
Nice.
Yes. And also it's actually, you know what? I can actually drop the link for that in the chat because it is on the YouTubes. And I don't know what it is. It's like people, they don't want to click on a Tubi link. They don't want to click on a link, but they'll click on, right? Why? Or Flax or anything. I don't know. They think that they're going to have to like create like a profile or something like that. Which
you only create a profile if you want to save stuff.
Right. If you want to keep a list, which it's like once you discover Tubi, I mean, yeah, you create a fucking account real fucking quick because it's the shit. But there are people that just don't want it. There's people that that are just like, they feel more comfortable clicking on a YouTube link. And fortunately, whenever
I do not do Tubi. Tubi.
Well, whenever there's like a 4K rip, like Blu-ray rip that comes out of like a movie like that, it's somewhere on YouTube before it gets ganked. Like it could be up there for a while, but I don't know how long it's going to be up there. That's why I kind of want to get to it next, because that's a movie I've been wanting to do for a long fucking time. Anyway, Preston, you sexy motherfucker, tell everybody where they can find you and your
X Nikki the Pipe and right here.
Yeah. Did you just say X?
X.
Nobody fucking calls it X. What the fuck?
Sounds more pornographic.
Matt, tell these fools where they can find you.
You guys could find me at X at Runecutter Comics. You guys could check out my channel, Metal Movies and Brewskis. I do reviews and a couple of other things on there. Do some shows every now and then. Yeah. And if you want, check out if you guys want to check out my horror western Butch Cleaver, I have it up on Fund My Comic. It's like a live store basically, but I deliver like next day. So I got the post office right there. And
look at the chat. Look at the chat.
So if you guys want that? I got all the inventory, and then the first 30 backers are going to get a bunch of tchotchkes. And more importantly, everybody go sign up for Preston's book, The Hell Knight.
Oh, The Hell Knight.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys do not want to miss out on that book. The first 100, or what was it? The first. Was it 100?
The first the backer, whoever signs up for it.
Whoever signs up
for the pre-campaign, and they sign up for the actual book, will get a painted sketch card.
So we got a link in the chat. I dropped one in the chat for both of those things. So if you guys could go and do those, we would gladly appreciate it. And thanks for having me, Brian, and everybody. Fucking stay metal.
Absolutely. And everybody, you can find me on at Brian Christgau at Brian Christgau on the YouTubes, on the Twitters, on the Facebooks and everything. Spank that subscribe button. Oh, my brother Chris, if you're listening, much love to you, man. And until next week. Well, first of all, I don't know if Pops is taking us out or if I'm fucking just hitting the button myself. But anyway, folks, until next week, peace, love, and metal.